Welcome to my show, Reflections. You are over here with Tarika. Hit the like and subscribe button because you are officially in with the crew, and you know how we do. Now, today or tomorrow or in the morning, well, the Grand Rising, you are here. We are here talking about the vanishing of Tituba. Now, her name pronounced different depending on where you are from and what you practice. Okay. Now, we all have heard of the Salem witch trials, right? Well, if you haven't heard of the Salem witch trials, hopefully after this video you will have a better understanding of what not only the Salem trials consisted of, but what actually led up to the Salem trials. Okay. Now, with that being said, we all have probably heard of the story about Tabitha. Now, Tabitha was actually an enslaved Caribbean woman who was first accused of witchcraft in 1692. So, for everyone who don't know who Tabitha is, she was actually the first person that was accused in the Salem witch trials. Okay, now again, she was actually an enslaved Caribbean woman. Now, it was said that she was actually kidnapped from Ghana, and she was actually brought to Salem, Massachusetts. Okay. Now, it was said that her father was a Obi man. Okay. Now, some people, this is actually a spiritual practice in Ghana and throughout the Caribbean as well, reflection. Okay, so that's where she got a lot of her gifts from, is her father. All right, so she was an excellent diviner. Now, we all have heard about the story of Tabitha and the girls losing their mind allegedly due to witchcraft, but what a lot of people don't know is the type of divination that Tabitha was using, and the agenda of the agenda of the people in in Salem, Massachusetts at that time. You have to think a lot of people practice witchcraft, but they do it behind closed doors. They didn't want everybody else to know that they practice. Do you believe in magic, reflection? So that's something that they'll do behind closed doors. You know what I'm saying? Talk shit about the people that do witchcraft, and then when some shit happened, allegedly they would go over their reflection and ask them, "Can you cook me a cake? Can you cook me a witch cake?" Okay. And for everybody here who don't know what a witch cake is, stick around, and Torethia will tell you this was actually a cake that Tabitha had cooked, reflection for the man that she was actually that actually had her enslaved at that she worked for at that particular time. Okay, so it was actually said that the little girl, which is Betty Paris, she was 9 years old, and her cousin Abigail Williams, who was 11 years old, they were experiment reflection using a technique called the Venus glass. Okay, for everybody here who don't know what the Venus glass is, it's your common day crystal ball. Okay, so you know how to use crystal balls and things like that to divine with now reflection. Well, back then they would actually use a technique called the Venus glass. For everybody here who don't know what the Venus glass is, let me show you. And remember to hit the like and subscribe button because it let everybody know we over here talking about Tabitha.
Witches of TikTok. This is old folk magic known as a Venus glass. Modern witches today would simply call it ovomancy, but the Venus glass was a form of divination used around the time of the Salem witch trials. This type of divination was normally used to predict matters of love, which is where it got its name, the Venus glass. Venus being the planet associated with love and Aphrodite. You would fill a bowl with water, crack an egg, and separate the yolk from the egg whites. The egg whites.
Okay, reflection. So, what do you think about this? This is actually what Tabitha and the little girl. This what they don't tell you. This is the type that reflection they was trying to lock Tabitha up over a damn glass of water and an egg. Shut your mouth and keep on talking. The like and subscribe button. You are over here with Sarithia. You over here with Sarithia. Okay, let me go on and put this up real quick. Is for educational purposes only. Okay. So with that being said, reflection, as you can see, this is what they were doing. Okay. So it was alleged that you know how as girls they was just playing around with it, trying to see who their future husband, what they would be in life. Reflection, how you just abracadabra, you young, you over here, reflection. Keep in mind, this is a 9-year old and 11-year old. They're just playing around with it. This isn't any uncommon type of do you believe in magic. It's just that again, some people would act like they was against do you believe in magic, but when they go behind closed doors, they want other people to teach them how to do you believe in magic. Okay, let's keep it going though. So they were playing around with the Venus glass, trying to see who their future husband be, what their social status would be, what the future got. Reflection, just asking questions about the future. Now, as you see in the video, they said that you crack the egg open, and from the yolk in the egg, it would predict. You look at the pictures of the yolk in the egg in the water, and then it would tell the future. Okay, so when the girls looked in the bowl or the glass or whatever they had reflection, they didn't see a picture. The only picture they seen was a coffin. Okay, so they got scared. So when they looked and they was trying to predict what the future would be, they seen a coffin reflection, and it scared the shit out of them, baby. They scared. That's when they jump back on the other side. They like, hell no, I don't fuck with that. Do you believe in magic? But the whole time they was over there asking Tabitha about the Venus glass. Hit the like and subscribe button. We over here talking about Black History Reflection. Okay. Now, not only that reflection, it was also said that after this happened, the girls start exhibiting strange behavior. Okay, they started acting very, very strange. They would throw fits. They would start forgetting shit. Reflection, fuck around, put their toy over there. They don't even know what a toy is anymore. Okay, so their parents eventually took them to the doctor. Okay, they took Betty, especially. They took her to the doctor. Okay, now remember Betty, she's the 9-year-old. Now the doctor couldn't find shit wrong with her. So back when they couldn't find nothing wrong with you, reflection, they would just cancel it out, and they would just say you got that root on you, got that work done on you, and they would also call it the evil hand. So if you hear older people talking about the evil hand, that's what they talking about, that woo. Okay, so after that reflection, the girls, they started acting very violently. Allegedly, I'm telling you, the I know the other stories you heard, but this is allegedly. They started acting very strange, reflection. Okay, now a lot of people were saying that witchcraft could only be the reason. They was like, hold on now, this can only be the reason. We've been seen this before. This got to be that do you believe in magic? Okay, and a lot of people viewed the Venus glass, what I just showed you, as a form of evil, reflection. Putting the yolk in the damn glass, they said that was evil. Okay, but keep in mind, behind closed doors, they would go to the root workers and they would ask for a little assistance. Okay, now with that being said, reflection. Not only that, a lot of people didn't tell you after that happened, reflection, it didn't stop them. It was actually said that one of his family members, one of the John Indian. Now this is John Indian, who was also another enslaved person. Okay, they came to Tabitha and they asked her to cook a witch cake, right? Now, when Tabitha, everybody who don't know what a witch cake is, let me explain real quick. Okay, a witch cake is basically where they get some cake mix, get some rye meal, and the urine. Yeah, you heard what I said. Reflection. We over here talking real. We talking about Black history. We talking about that. Do you believe in magic? We talking about Tabitha. Okay. Now, it was said that you would get the cake mix, the rye meal, and the urine from the accused person, and you would mix it all together and you would cook a cake. Okay. So when you cook this cake, you would feed the cake to the dog, allegedly. Okay. And it was alleged that when you feed this to the dog, reflection, that the dog would supposedly bark the name of the person, of the guilty witch, reflection. This is how they was trying to see who was a witch back when. This was how they would see, like, if a person had magic or work done on them, this is the type of shit they would go to other witch doctors and ask them to cook them a witch cake so they could figure out who had put the do you believe in magic on them. Okay, so it was alleged that the way the dog bark, you could hear the name. Okay, reflection. Woo. Okay, that sound like do you believe in magic all by itself. Okay, now anyway, hit the like and subscribe button. You over here talking about, we over here talking about Tabitha. Now, the Reverend Paris, which is Betty's dad, which was the little girl daddy, now the one who was playing around with the Venus ball, her daddy found out that one of the family members went to Tabitha. Everybody knew Tabitha was, she didn't play with that do you believe in magic. When I say play, I mean she was skills with the wheel. She was skill, reflection. This wasn't anything that was secret. They knew that shit when they hired her. But all of a sudden, when do you believe in magic don't go in your favor, don't get me started. Okay, so anyway, reflection, it was said that when Betty's dad had found out that one of his family members had went and got Tabitha to cook them a cake, he was upset about that. He was like, listen, we dibble in a little bit, do you believe in magic? But that's too much. Do you believe in magic? So her daddy started getting suspicious because you got to think Betty was already acting a little strange, allegedly. Now, on the side note, some people say that this was all a setup because they wanted the land. Okay, that's just a side story for a different day. Let's keep going though. Now, it was said that her daddy was upset because Tabitha had made the cake for one of the family members. All right. Now, not only that, it was said that Tabitha, her father, I mean Betty's daddy, started pressuring her. He's like, hold the fuck up. Who do you got teaching you this? Do you believe in magic? When did you start learning about Venus glass, egg yolks, and water glasses? Shit, I can't even find no glass to put no juice in because your ass around there popping egg yolks in all of the glasses. Who the fuck taught you about this? Do you believe in magic? Hit the like and subscribe button. You over here with the crew. This how we do. Okay. So she, the pressure started getting hard on the reflection. Number 9 years old. Shit. So she eventually started telling her father it was Tabitha. Tabitha was the one who was teaching her this. Do you believe in magic? Reflection. I'm trying to tell you, they ain't loyal. Okay, so anyway, after that, her father got furious. He got furious. He demanded for Tabitha to be arrested. Not only to be arrested, he wanted her ass hung. Reflection. Now, this lady that works for him all this time, took care of his daughters and all this shit. Reflection. She the one that asked about the video. Tabitha was over there finna cook breakfast. She the one over there with the glass, allegedly. Talking about some, can we divine my future? Now, listen, reflection. That's just what I heard in the ether streets. Now, with that being said, Tabitha was actually arrested and to be hung for being accused of being a witch. Reflection. Okay, and not only that, reflection, they also picked up two other women as well. Okay. It was a local woman named Sarah Good and Sarah Osborne. Now, a lot of people feel like that they were actually being targeted. Reflection. Why do they think they were being targeted? Now, this isn't anything unknown. Okay, this isn't anything unknown. It was actually said that one of them, Sarah Good, was actually a little mentally ill. She was a little, just a little pinch of mental illness. Okay. Now, it was also said that Sarah Osborne was homeless. She was semi-homeless. Reflection. She was here, there, everywhere. She really didn't have a stable place to stay. Okay. So these girls were easily targeted. Reflection. Okay. Now, keep in mind when the story start one way, by the time it ends, it's always something different. So keep in mind these girls had nothing, they had nothing to do with Venus or the damn glass. Reflection. Okay, hit the like and subscribe button. You are over here with Tariq. We talking about Tabitha and the Salem witch trials. Okay. Now, not only that, reflection, it was said that on March the 1st, 1692, this is why March the 1st is really dedicated to Tabitha, because this was the day that she was actually accused of being charged with witchcraft. Reflection. And it was said that in the courtroom that they actually jumped on Tabitha. Yes, Betty and Abigail, the 9 and the 11-year-old, reflection, started throwing fists at Tabitha. Okay, not only Tabitha, the other two women as well, Sarah Osborne and Sarah Good, reflection. She started throwing hands on her in the courtroom. Whew, baby. Okay, nothing happened to them neither. But it also said that Sarah had denied the charges. Sarah Osborne and Sarah Good, the girl, the two other ladies, reflection, one of them there was a pinch of mental illness, and the other one there was a little semi-homeless. Reflection, they said they don't know anything about Betty. They ain't never seen her. They don't even know about Venus or the bowl. Never is shit. Sarah Osborne said shit, she's semi-homeless and shit. How she know about a bowl? She's still trying to, anyway, reflection. I'm just saying, make it make sense. Not only that, it says that Tabitha testified for 2 days saying that she don't know nothing about magic. She don't know nothing about witchcraft. Shit, she didn't even know. She thought you was talking about some scissors and a piece of paper. She thought we was finna do art class or something around this motherfucker. She don't know about no witchcraft. Reflection. So she stayed stuck to her story for 2 days. Okay. But what they don't even know is that Tabitha, Sarah, both of them, they had denied the charges, but Tabitha had been violently beaten. They beat her. Reflection. This is what they not telling you on the internet and shit. They beat her, okay, allegedly. And she was actually threatened by the Reverend who was Betty's dad. Reflection. He threatened her ass. Okay, say it ain't so, and jumped on her. All right. Now, not only that, reflection, remember, that she testified for 2 days saying that, listen, I don't know nothing about witchcraft. I don't know nothing about, do you believe in magic or none of this shit, reflection. But by day three, reflection, by day three, they had broke her. They had broke a, reflection. And she ended up but keep in mind, she was getting beaten, she was getting threatened, them girls throwing fists and shit all on her, reflection. Okay, so eventually she broke. Eventually she confessed that she had participated in witchcraft and she was the devil's servant, allegedly, reflection. Okay, so it was basically they got her to say everything that they wanted her to say. Okay, they wanted her to say. So what do you think about that, reflection? What do you think about them making Tabitha, well, it's almost like a psychology. Just think, if you were being beaten for all those days, reflection, who's to say they probably weren't giving her food, they probably weren't, she probably wasn't getting the right amount of sleep. Even if she was in good sleep, was she even in good sleeping conditions in the prison, reflection? Okay, so remember, everybody has a story, and I thought this Tabitha, we're gonna go through a lot of them, but she has a story that a lot of people tell, but they forget a lot of very important details, reflections. Okay, now with that being said, Tabitha ended up shouting in the court, that the devil came to me and bid me to serve for him. Keep in mind, this is wordplay. This is what Tabitha had been beaten, malnourished, reflection, deprived of sleep and everything by the time she came to this judgment. Okay, but by the time she decided to say all this, so do you think this was forced? Do you think they forced Tabitha to say all of these things? Of course they did. Reflection. Let's keep it going. It's also said that she even confessed to signing the devil's book and gave the first account of witches supposedly flying on sticks. Now, reflection, witches don't fly on no motherfucking sticks. They don't fly on, they ride them, but not what you thinking about. I got the magic stick. I know if I hit it once, I can hit it twice. I got the magic. Oh, my bad, reflection. Oh, you know how Sarithia can get, but they don't fly on sticks. They don't ride the mother. Well, not the ride, what you think about. They don't do that, reflection. Okay, okay, okay. Let's get back on track. I just wanted to say that. Reflection. Come on now, that's some movie shit. Okay, but anyway, it was actually said that she even seen other witches, reflection. Not only did she have her own magic stick she could ride on, it was alleged that she knew other witches that could ride magic sticks too. Now this is the third day after she had been beaten, deprived of food and sleep. Let's keep it going. Let's keep it going now. Okay, now it was also said that Tabitha, her line, what most people think is, I am blind now, I cannot see. Okay, so what do you mean? She told the judge that she was blind and she could not see. Okay, the judge started asking Tabitha about other witches. They was like, okay, we know you a witch now. Since you said you seen them flying on magic sticks and shit, point us out to the rest of them. Point us out to the rest of the witches. Tabitha, she stayed strong, reflection. Tabitha said, listen, I can't give you their names because the devil has officially blinded me. He won't let me see the rest of the witches. He done put the veil back over my eyes. Okay, reflection. So when they got asking about who else is witches or who else participate in witchcraft, I said Taretha, Tabitha held 10 toes. She held her shit 10 toes down. Reflection. She didn't tell on nobody. She said the devil had put the veil back over her eyes. She don't know. She just know she did a little. Do you believe in magic? Okay, allegedly. Now, with that being said, reflection, Tabitha was actually she was actually released. She was actually released. Now the other girls, Sarah Good was actually hung, reflection. Okay, remember Sarah Good was the one who had a little touch of mental illness. She was actually hung of July of 1692, reflection. She was hung July 1692. Now Sarah Osborne, the one who was semi-homeless, reflection, she died in jail. Yes, she died in jail May 1692. Now Tabitha was actually the charges was dropped against Tabitha. Now after the charges was dropped, though, reflection, she couldn't get out of jail. You said, Teresa, what you mean the charges was dropped? Let me tell you how I went back when, reflection. She had to pay she had to pay for her shackles. So the shackles that are on your feet and the chains and all that shit, you have to pay for this shit, reflection. Okay. So she had to end up paying, so they wouldn't let her out. So they like, yeah, we dropping the charges against you, but you still can't get out of jail because she didn't have the money to pay for her shackles, her chains, or other prison charges. Okay. But it was said that mysteriously it was an unknown stranger that went up there to pay Tabitha's fees. Okay, and she was released. Okay, now this is where the story of the vanishing of Tabitha, because Tabitha was never to be seen again. Shit, I wouldn't have been neither though. Tabitha, I would have went and hide myself. Shit. Okay. But yeah, so Tabitha, it was said that she ended up vanishing from history. Nobody never seen her anymore. Reflection after she got out of jail. Okay, so what do you think about that? And what do you think about not only that, she went through all those beatings, reflection. She went out through all the interrogation, deprived of sleep, deprived of food for her charges to be dropped, for her charges to be dismissed, reflection. And then after that, after they tell you, listen, we're gonna drop your charges and all that, you know it's a you fucked still, reflection, because you ain't even got no money to pay for the shackles, to pay for the prison charges, to pay your way to get out of the system that you was never supposed to be in the first place. Reflection shit. Okay. Now I done told you the raw and uncut version of Tabitha. Let's listen at what other people have to say.
Did you know an indigenous Arawak woman from the West Indies was the first person to be tried at the Salem witch trials? Tituba was an enslaved Locono Arawak woman that was captured in the 1670s in Venezuela. She was brought to work for someone named Samuel Thomas on the sugar plantations in Barbados. In the late 1670s, she was purchased by Samuel Paris. He went to Barbados to settle in a state after the death of his father. He brought Tituba back home with him to Boston, where him and his family was living. Shortly after, they relocated to Salem, Massachusetts after his business failed. He decided to become a minister in order to make more money. Reverend Samuel had a 9-year-old daughter named Betty and an 11-year-old niece named Abigail. Tituba was put in charge of babysitting the girls. It is said in Western literature that Tituba taught the girls witchcraft, and that the girls shortly after became ill and began acting strange and claimed they were being attacked by evil spirits. They also alleged that they heard voices and often went into convulsions. The girls were examined by doctors, but since they couldn't find anything wrong medically, they determined that the girls' symptoms was demon possession as a result of witchcraft. There is mention of fresh rye bread made by a neighbor that the girls ate. The exaggerated story says that the bread was made of urine and rye in order to heal the girls from demon possession. But the reality is that the girls ate bread that was contaminated with a fungus called Claviceps purpurea. This fungus grows on grains such as wheat and rye. It produces toxic alkaloids, which results in a sickness called ergo poisoning when consumed by an animal or person. As the fungus grows, it replaces the kernels of the grain. These can mix into healthy grains during the harvest. They can also contaminate products a person would make with the grain, such as animal food or bread. The doctors at the time were unaware of this illness, hence the reason why they labeled it demon possession. Once the word got out, others in the community claimed to be suffering from the same symptoms. Reverend Samuel Paris and other members of his church decided that there must be witches that are doing witchcraft. They began to accuse anybody and everybody that seemed like a witch. People that inhabited the town at the time were all Puritan people. The Puritans were wildly religious and very serious about getting down to the bottom of these crimes. Now, not so ironically, most of the people that were put on trial were enslaved indigenous people, middle-aged white women, and 5 men. The first accused, of course, was Tituba. Not only because she was the caretaker of the girls, but also because she was one of very few black women in this town. And for that, she was considered to be an outsider. She was also accused of quote-unquote voodoo, simply because she was taken from foreign lands. The word voodoo is actually a derogatory Western term used by the British to describe various indigenous spiritual practices such as herbal healing, candle manifestation rituals, and ancestor veneration, amongst other things. Many have used it for evil, but it was never intended as such. Anyway.
Okay, reflection. So what do you think about that? Remember the story A lot of people they'll skip over some but I think that was a good she did good. I think a lot of people reflection they will skip over some very important details. A lot of people just hear, oh, Tabitha taught them witchcraft. No, what exactly was it? Now, when you really go back and you really hear about the egg and the water and putting it in the bowl, reflection, and this woman was put on trial, reflection, beating. Reflection, don't make me go down the list again. Just think about that, reflection. Think about that. So, what do you think about the vanishing of Tabitha? What do you think about her being accused of teaching these girls witchcraft? Do you think Tabitha well, we know Tabitha never taught them witchcraft, reflection, but do you think that the things that were put against her, the things that she had to endure, do you think that that was right, reflection? Hit the like and subscribe button because you are officially over here with the crew. All week we are talking about Black history. Okay, we are talking about the goddesses of Black history. So with that being said, until next time, I